So then we have question 6. So figure 7 shows various processes labeled A to E that occur in the water cycle. So the first thing we have to do, identify any 3 of the labeled processes in figure 7. The letter labels must be included in your response. So this is to ensure that you know which process is happening where. So I just put the names of all. You just have to put any 3. So you have A, which is evaporation, B, transpiration, C, respiration, D, condensation, and then last but not least, E, which is precipitation. B. List 3 ways in which water can be purified in the home. So any 3 ways that you could think about. I just put 4. So you can boil the water, filter or filtration, chemical treatments by adding chlorine, so chlorinating the water, or settling and decanting. So you collect the water, you allow it to settle in buckets or whatever container, and then you take the clean water from it while leaving all of the debris that's settled to the bottom. Then we have part C. So figure 8 and figure 9 are graphs which show sources of pollutants at 2 different locations, X and Y. So location X, we have animal feed, detergents, fertilizers, sewage. You have 60% fertilizer, 4% detergents, 6% sewage, and 30% animal feed. And location Y, same thing, but you have 65% sewage, 7% fertilizer, 25% detergents, and 3% animal feed. So based on the percentages, the first thing you need to do is suggest the type of land use that is occurring at location X and Y. Location X has a large portion, or the largest portion being fertilizers. You also have the second largest portion being animal feed. So most likely this is agricultural land. And then Y, the largest portion that you have is sewage, while the second largest portion is detergents. So this is some sort of waste disposal area. Then part 2, explain 2 social and or economic effects that can occur if the pollutants from location X and location Y were to enter waterways. So any 2, I just wrote down 3. So 1, it can cause waterborne diseases such as cholera in communities that use the water, especially this one that is coming from location X, even location Y with sewage, right? Then you have 2, can reduce fish stocks or contaminate water used in farming, leading to the loss of income for farmers or for fishermen. So if the water streams are contaminated, then the fishes are either going to migrate if it's an open space, or if it's an enclosed area like a pond, for example, the fishes could die. And in terms of the water used for farming, so whether it's to feed their livestock or to water their crops, if that water is contaminated, then you are transferring it to the animals or to the crops, which can cause diseases, thus leading to a loss of income for the farmers, maybe because the crops can die or because of the amount of money that they are now going to have to spend to buy chemicals to help treat with those diseases. And the bonus one, or the extra one, eutrophication. So remember, eutrophication is that phenomenon basically where if you've ever seen a pond or some source of water and there's a whole bunch of algal growth or plants growing to the top or on the surface of that water, this is what eutrophication is. And it's basically where the microorganisms or the bacteria, they are able to feed on the um, the high amount of fertilizers or nutrients that is being pumped as waste into the water, and they cover the surface. If it covers the surface, then with what I am saying here, it can affect tourism. If that is some space where a lot of tourists usually come, if to bathe or to fish, or just some part of the tour or whatever, or it can cause a problems in terms of water supply, as water could become toxic. So when eutrophication occurs, many things happen. So let's say, for example, this phenomenon is taking place in a pond. The organisms have nowhere to go to. So if it covers the entire surface, it is going to stop sunlight or drastically reduce the amount of sunlight that is going to get to the bottom. So the aquatic plants are going to be affected as they need light for photosynthesis. It is going to significantly reduce the amount of oxygen that is dissolved in the water, thus causing problems for the organisms that live there because of that process of respiration. So that could cause the death of the organisms. It is also going to trap a large portion of carbon dioxide under the surface. So the water now, the pH is going to change to be more on the acidic side, and that could also lead to the death of the organisms there. So those are some of the problems, or the major problems, that eutrophication can cause. And lastly, part 3, recommend 3 strategies that could be employed to reduce the pollutants from location X and Y. Again, I just put a bonus one. So 1, practice crop rotation to reduce the dependence on chemicals. So just to go back, with location X, we had 60% being the largest portion, which was the use of fertilizers. So if it is we use, or if farmers use, a very natural and organic process of crop rotation, then this could reduce the dependence of chemicals needed. Crop rotation, what that does is ensure that there is not a continuous stripping of nutrients from the soil. So one crop or one rounds of crops will take nutrients without putting anything, but the second round of crops that you will put, for example, you may plant legumes, which will now add nutrients to the soil. For example, it will add or help with nitrates being added to the soil because of the bacteria that is able to live symbiotically in their root nodules. So something like that will help to reduce the dependence on chemicals that you'll have to buy from a store. 2, careful use of fertilizers and pesticides where only the required amounts are used to prevent runoff. So if you use the required amounts and not spraying extra just to make sure, then the plants would be getting enough. The soil will also not be there wouldn't be too much remaining in the soil after, thus preventing a large portion from running off or any runoff at all. 3, proper waste management by segregating, recycling, and safe disposals of waste. This one says for itself, and this would pertain to that land used for area Y. And then we have the extra one, which is number 4. You can construct sanitary landfills to prevent leaching into soil as well as water.